number 3 tonight on this Monday with John Leonard Walson, and we're going to take a look at photo page 2. Right after you see the damaged eye of John and the helicopter pictures, we're going to go back to some of these space images of machines up there that John was able to capture, and there are some close-ups as well. And when you think of satellites, you often think of a rocket with a nose cone, and it gets up into orbit, of course, and then out into space, and the nose cone opens up and the satellite is just deployed. Or in the case of the space shuttle, we've watched a number of satellites be deployed from the cargo bay of the space shuttle. And I would just ask you, do these look like satellites? What do they look like? Things you ponder. This first group of 5 images, it's marked number 8 if you look off to the right-hand side. There's a little 8 there. It's the same craft, and what John has done is been able to enlarge and enhance part of the lower piece of it, and you'll see that at the top left. If you look to the right, it's the long boom that sticks down, but in the top left it's been rotated. It looks like 180 degrees, so that point is sticking off to the left in the top picture, and there's like a post or a point near the bottom of that boom, which in the other pictures is sticking off to the right. So that's been flipped, I would guess. John, this one is another strange one. What kind of explanations have you come up with for what these things are? What do people tell you?
Well, allegedly, I'm going to say, because I don't want to get into trouble, Jerry Gilmore again, he was so wonderful about everything for quite a long time with me. He actually encouraged me many times in emails to go public, because he could see I was worried about it, and he said, no, go public, go and tell everybody, share it all over the internet, in books and magazines. And he actually quoted at the bottom, I quote his words, get the recognition for what you have done is really good, and for your results. And he actually encouraged me to do it, and I did. And yeah, he said that they were the Star Wars project. He called some of them satellites, and it even gave me websites where you could go where other people had filmed the same thing. It was incredible. He said that there were actual Star Wars project.
I've seen a few images, by the way, that other people have taken of these kinds of things. Not yours. Yeah. Other people have captured similar things up there as well. Now, this is Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I sent it in to you. Other examples from a Japanese webpage. They sort of do it hobby, competition, amateur hobby thing, and they're doing exactly the same thing. Not as close, but they are doing it, and you can see exactly the same long section in the middle, a tethery box section each end or whatever, and they also prove one important factor. If you look at the images, look at mine and theirs, you will see a similarity. It's a very important similarity. What it is, around the edges of the image, it looks like it's a bit hazy and
correct.
It's
fuzzy.
Fuzzy, and theirs look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got that fuzzy bit around it. But if you process it in this wonderful software that I shared tonight, you can grab all the best images from, say, if you just lock onto it as long as possible, and then grab all those images and take out all the best ones, you make a much sharper picture. But I like to just give the raw picture so I don't get accused of processing it. Does that make sense?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Top left in this group of 5 is your sharpest object. Now, take a look at that. That's a machine of some kind. Is it ours? Is it Star Wars? Star Wars, of course, was put up there as a strategic, defensive, offensive weapons system that was designed to shoot down Soviet rockets. It was designed potentially to take on aggressors from other worlds. But go ahead, John.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing thought you just put there. To build something of that magnitude way back then, it makes you think what we've got now.
Well, I'm told that we're 30 years ahead minimum technologically from what is released to the public. And I wouldn't be at all surprised. That would go hand in hand with what you captured here 10, 12 years ago and more.
Wow.
All right, let's go down to the next picture, which is number 10. Yeah. Look at the lower right corner of the picture. Now this one, that is an absolutely stunning photograph of something. And I don't know what it is, but it is amazing. It looks, you can describe it, I'm sure all of you listening, you'll have your own words, your own descriptions, but look at the detail. And it is a little bit fuzzy, but not bad enough to distort what is clearly, looks like some kind of a command and control room of some kind right in the center there. Look behind it. It curves, it arcs up. There's a square box behind it. These are machines. Whatever they are, they're machines. And I think they're geosync orbits in many cases, but I could be wrong. I'm just an amateur guessing. But look at the repeating features in the design and the construction of this craft. Look at the boom end of it. Look at how many pieces are involved there. Look at the segments, the sections. Just stunning. The white areas on it, do you think that those are reflecting sun directly, or are those some kind of internal luminescence from being powered up?
I'm not sure of it being powered up, or I'm not sure about that. It's got to be reflecting something. I'm not sure, so I wouldn't like to comment on that.
Now, are you able, John, to get these images, and I know the answer, but I'm just repeating it rhetorically here, in the daytime as well as nighttime, like this?
Yeah, that's another thing. If it's like now, just a minute ago, it was dark, gets light very quickly, and literally you could be on it while it's dark. And as the light comes, you've seen there's video of stuff in the day. The beginning of that, not middle of day, you know what I mean? Just as it's going from dusk to dawn. I mean, that's a wonderful, actually, you've just reminded me of something. I won't say it too long, but how amazing it would be to have a road show, which we're going to do. It's going to happen in Las Vegas. And we're going to start it from LA, called Dusk Till Dawn. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, great title.
Yeah. So you've just reminded me. So basically, it's not in like midday. It's just as it branches from, sort of to the early hours of the morning.
Well, you call it twilight too.
Yeah, and a very good point. You're remembering all this, because another good way to video the moon, a little tip here, if the moon is very high, that's the best time to image it. Not when it's low, down on the horizon, because you just get all the
too much atmosphere. Yeah,
that's right. if you look straight up, and then the good thing is, if the moon is in a wonderful position, coming up, it's just say around, say on a nice cool sort of imaging evening. Say for instance, it's just coming towards dark. So lock onto it then when it's not day and it's not dark, just between, and that sweet spot in between there, if you can get on craters in that point when the moon is very high, you're going to get some outstanding footage. That's if you're going to come to a little bit of video, I'll explain about that then, but it's all about just in between certain sweet spots, and it's incredible what you can get.
Right. All right, this is just a remarkable image of something very complex, obviously. The next one is a super close-up of, I don't know what, perhaps the bottom end of that boom, or the long extended part, pointing downward. And look at the segments. Look at the repetitive dark and light on it. Those are not tricks of optics or anything. That is what it is. We don't know what it is, but it's clearly intelligently designed, maybe by us. We don't know. Now let's go down to number 12. Secret Space Project, John Leonard Walson, 2016. Now look at that and prepare to be knocked out. Now that is clearly something that is designed to do I don't know what, but look at it. Look carefully and look at all the different things you can see. It's not a disk. It's not that kind of a spacecraft. It's something else. Wow. Just amazing. Okay, number 13. Same item in black and white. It doesn't have a magenta filter on it, and it's laid over on its side. Did you lay that over on its side for this particular image use, or did it rotate over and you still took a picture of it in a normal relationship?
This is a good thing that you've mentioned, Jeff. Going back to that software, and there's other kinds of software like OBS. It's a capturing broadcasting software which some of the people that are listening use. You can flick at any moment's notice to turn 90 degrees, 180 degrees flip or whatever.
That's it.
You can, which some people do, and I've been doing for a long time, and some new people that are starting to do this are doing. You can actually, it's surprising or not, if you put your camera on straight, which would appear in your eyes, you're putting it on with the viewfinder at the top, when you'd normally do it. If you looking at the moon, and you do that, and it's a bit hazy and you should try getting it as sharp as possible, and it's still a bit hazy, just try turning your camera slightly 45 degrees, or just sort of 90 degrees, just try moving it gently round clockwise, and the image will get slightly a little bit crisper. It's really strange. And you can record that live and then process that, get it to the sweet spot that you want to do. So yeah, with certain things you can just twist them, and you can see it looks really crisp and clear. It's just,
well, that's there may be some people listening and watching right now who are kind of laughing and said, yeah, we remember building that and launching it. It's just hard to know how big it is. And here's picture number 14, same object again, rotated back to its original attitude as it was at the top. In fact, I think it may be a duplicate picture. So there we go. All right. Number 15, what do we have there, number 15? What is that?
Right. This was absolutely amazing. I've sent you the video, but I've done thousands of videos, so you probably lost it. I'll send the link again if you want me to, but I've got this on video. And basically, I was getting ready to film the moon. Two aircrafts went across in the sky, really big ones, and made a massive X spot. X marks the spot, X with contrails. And they started like expanding. You know how contrails expand and make, brand new clouds that are not clouds.
Yeah.
And this bright object came out of one of near the edge of the arm of the X, and I thought, what is that? So I've got I always carry a camera, pull it up, and I film into it, and you can see me zoom in and out. And this thing, it comes down, comes across me, something like you would see, at the International Space Station at night, when you look at it with your naked eye, you see a glowing object go across the sky. So you imagine that in the day, it was so bright. But when I zoomed in with the camera, this wonderful, gorgeous little Panasonic camera did all the adjustments and auto contrast and autofocus, and you could see that this thing was moving around, and it looked like what a really intelligent drone would do is move and then sort of twist, but then it just seemed to, it's just amazing, the video. It's on my YouTube channel, John Leonard Wilson, and I've put it in a collection of videos, which if you go to the channel you can see, but it's totally amazing. I don't know what it is to this day. You can see it's got aerodynamic. It's got lines to it, hasn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah. I've seen other videos, John, of little dots, which are some kind of objects. They're intelligently controlled machines. They're up there in the chemtrails. Some of them appear to actually cause the chemtrails to dissipate where they are. It's very strange. I don't know what's going on. Why would ET want to mess with chemtrails? Who knows? I don't know if that is ET, but it's something.
If there allegedly is chemtrails, or allegedly, sort of thing, why would they want to do that? You're right. It's just, very interesting. But you can see it's got light bouncing off of the top, hasn't it?
Sure does.
There's one person that's filmed something just like that, who lives in Phoenix. I'm not if I'm allowed to mention his name, but he's a lovely chap on the internet. He films a lot of stuff in Phoenix Lights, etc. He's really good, and he has filmed something like that, and it came in on its side, so it wasn't like that. I've twisted that round for you to see. So it actually came in the other way, so it was like coming out at a weird angle into the, across me. Does that make sense? Sort of upward. Very strange. All
right, very good. Now, our next picture, number 16, you can go on down there. That's an intense close-up of another object up there. And again, I ask you just to keep looking. The more you look, the more detail you'll see. It's not just a smudge and a blur. Going back up to the first one. No, it's not the first one. That's a different one. Wow. Well, if these are satellites, they've got a very strange configuration. We think of a normal satellite as being something relatively round, maybe with solar panels kicking off of it. They mostly have them now. But these don't look anything like a normal satellite. Not to me. Not to me. Okay, next up is number 17, which I think is a video. All right, let's see. Let's play it and see what happens.
Oh,
All right.
sorry, that's a actual still frame from a video.
Okay, it's a grab. All right. Now
Yes,
that,
yeah.
you know what that looks like? It looks like one of those deep sea fish that you can see through. You can see their skeletons, and they're very strange. They have a diaphanous kind of a covering to their skeleton. It looks odd. The whole damn thing is strange. Look at the end of it. Look at the bottom right. Look carefully. If you have a magnifying glass, use that on the screen. Look at the modules on the outside of the body. Look at the long tube moving up the long extended portion of it. And then look at the different components and how they appear to be all purpose. They're all done there fit for purpose. There's something they're doing.
It's amazing, and there's a video of it. You can just see it's there. It's just incredible, Jeff. It's such a privilege. There's so many things in space, and I'd love to. I'm going to share it with everybody.
Well, when you come on this trip, are you going to put on, let's just call it performances? And show your slides and things? Oh, great.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Get a big screen on the side. We're going to get a big RV. We're going to do it. We're going to drive from LA to Las Vegas and to we would love to come up to you, but that's another 9 hours. So we could have,
well, if you do come up this way, I'll try and get a venue, and you can put on a program up here. But it's a drive. It's a drive. But we'll see.
I'd love to. I really would love to, and it'd be amazing. We've got someone that could do some slight, beautiful, relaxing music in the background. Have some nice soft drinks. Put up a big projector screen on the side of the RV. It'd be brilliant. It would.
All right. Now, let's go to the next one and see where we are. We're on page 2 of our photos, moving down toward the bottom. All right, number 18, number 19 now. I do believe that 17 and 18 are duplicates. They're very close to being the same picture. All right, now, number 18, and then to number 19. Number 19, first is a wide shot, then there's an enlargement, an enhanced version of it. This again is another craft with the majority of the structure of it to the right, and then there's a long boom, as it were, an extended piece, and then at the end on the left is something else entirely. It's your mind, it kind of reminds you of 2001: A Space Odyssey. That was the first spaceship with the long boom or extremely long portion behind the crew headquarters.
I've actually sat with the producer of Space Odyssey 2001, Robert Watts. We've sat together. You've got the video of us sitting together, haven't you?
I don't know. I don't know where all these videos are. Are they on your channel?
Yeah, but you mentioned it last week.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, of course. But
you've got the producer of Space Odyssey 2001. He helped produce most of the Star Wars films and Indiana Jones films. He's Robert Watts. He's an absolutely amazing man. He's the most loving. He's just wonderful. And I had the privilege to be with him for quite some time. And he has actually sat down and watched these, and you can see him. He's just amazing. He's lovely, and his jaw just dropped when he was looking at these, and we were looking at them live, and it was just incredible. And it looks, like you said, just something like a space.
What a treat! Yeah, what a treat! He must have just had a ball. We're roll.
He did.
Sponsors, forgive me, but we've got to get through these pictures tonight. So I'm going to move right through this break and continue with number 20. Now we're going to go to number 21. And this is another one that appears very complicated. And I couldn't tell you for the life of me what it is. We don't know. If these are all Star Wars satellites, John, they put up a hell of a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I sent most of these to that Jerry Gilmore, and he wrote lots of emails back. So did NASA, and NASA explains that they just build robotic sort of like spacecraft, but it's Johnson Space Center that actually build spacecraft to get them where they need to go. In fact, I quote you properly, Johnson Space Center build elaborate spacecraft to get them where they want to go.
Todd, we're going to go through, hold on, we're going to go through the break, Todd. Thank you. Thanks. Go ahead, Jerry. John.
So, sorry. NASA explains to me in emails that, Johnson Space Center actually build elaborate, highlighting elaborate spacecraft to get them to where they need to go. I mean, he told me that, and that was the chief, actual person at NASA that actually was in a job. I've got all these emails. He used to email me when he was working, tell me who's coming in, real important people, and he knew I was ill one day, and he wished me well. We had a real good, and we could write a book about what we used to talk about.
Wow.
And basically he explained, about who really makes stuff, elaborate spacecraft, quoting his words, to get them where they need to go.
To get them where they need to go. Right.
Ooh, it's not to the space station.
No, these are nothing to do with the ISS.
This is, more elaborate, and that's quoting him, not me. Okay, everybody.
Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to number 12 and number 13, which I will almost hazard a guess might be the same craft reversed, although the neck on the one above is appearing to be bent. But these are optical issues that we're not going to get a perfectly flat picture every time.
That one there that's quite defined, it's a long one with a box section on the back, and you've got that green little other box section at the top. That is like one of the ones I sent you, another one on the Japanese site took, but his was a little bit further away. It had but he still had the long bit in the middle and two box sections on the end. That's almost identical to someone very famous that took a picture that does this as well, and he's in Germany.
Look at the boxes on top of the right end, and you count the black rectangles or squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. There might be 5 in there. Those are they're there for something. What are they?
Yeah.
That's just I'm just rhetorically yammering here. Next picture, number 24. Look at the detail on that. The more you look, the more you see.
Yeah. You can see shadow coming on to other parts, can't you?
Yes, you can. What in the world? Who in the world did that?
Yeah.
Well, they say we have as much money as the deep state wants for its space program, so we'll see. All right, number 25 is a knockout. That is wild. 3 long booms sticking out from that with a large housing behind it. It looks to be big enough for a number of people to be in. It looks like a spaceship is what it looks like.
and all these I've got off moving videos. I mean, you know, it's just
Yeah.
stills. You know,
They're just
I mean,
grabs, video grabs, I
yeah,
understand. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And the last pictures on page 2, then we're going to jump to page 3. We've got 4 objects. They're in various states of enlargement. You can see that they are, again, very sophisticated. And, wow, do you want to just scratch your head, John, or not? That's just amazing. The more you look at them, the more you see.
Yeah, I refuse to comment as it will incriminate a higher authority.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, I'm on the same page with you. All right, let's go to page number 3 here.
Yeah.
All right, page number 3.
Oh, we're going to get to that. Okay.
Now, we're going to take a look at some moon things on page 3. First, we have a small purplish magenta image, number 1, with a black, looks like a delta wing craft at the top. All right, what's the big white object that we're looking at?
That's an overexposed actual planet in space. I can't really comment because I don't want to get into trouble, but and accused of everything. But that's just you're whacking the exposure up to get what is going in, and obviously something's gone in front of it. Does that make sense?
Okay, so yes, you've overexposed so you could capture the object that's moving in front of it. Got it.
Yeah. But
very good.
Saying that, the object should be overexposed as well, shouldn't it, really?
It's not, though, is it?
No. And that's another thing that someone might point out, that why didn't he point that out? I mean, why isn't it overexposed? That's what you think. If you look, like, there's the green glow in the enlarged version, there's actually a glow around the front of the point of, that's the next one down in number 2.
Yeah.
You can actually see there is a glow around it. I mean, it wasn't a fly, because obviously a fly wouldn't show up in the night, would it?
Right,
so
no.
It wasn't a bird or a bat. It doesn't really look like a bat. So it's, and if it was, see, the good thing, the best thing that this person actually did do, which I keep on bringing up, he explained the tether footage away. And this thing would be pointing out that things that were on the tether footage and the people that were filming it, to get, he claimed, the ring donut effect of something that is actually passing. Well, it looks like it's appearing to pass behind the tether footage in a NASA incident when it snapped. It actually wasn't, he says. It was actually moving closer to the people that were taking the footage, like, so space junk. So if you have got a camera looking out into space, depending on the focal length, say an f10 looking out into space from Earth, and something passes in front of you close to the actual telescope, it could appear like an aeroplane, could appear as a donut shape with a hole through the middle. But this proves that whatever this wasn't close to the person that was taking the telescope picture, because if it had been close to Earth, according to this cyberbully's theory, it would have been a donut shape. And it's not a donut shape with a hole in it, is it?
No.
No, it's an actual proper shape. So he's proved, thankfully, that this, with his theory, is real. It's actually up there, not a piece of junk going around the Earth close to you. It's actually up there with this overexposed planet.
How funny.
Yeah. So, thankfully, through his theory, and he's a very well-known cyberbully, he's proved that this actual picture is real. And I've got on film, the moon overexposed like this with a very sensitive camera. And then he went and copied me and brought the same camera as me. And if you whack up the ISO to 450,000 ISO and bring the shutter speed down to sort of like, 50 or something like that, you will see, depending on where you are and what focal length you use, and then what you do, you slightly zoom in, and as you zoom in to an overexposed moon, round the edges and everything, you see sharp little UFOs zooming behind the moon, in front of the moon, doing right angles and everything, and I've got that on film. Now, thankfully, because of his theory, he's proved that film I just said to you is real. Because if those objects that perfect focus, nice and sharp little dots, are still staying dots in my footage, that means they're really up there. If they were turning into donut rings, according to his theory, that means it'd be objects closer to me. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
So thanks to him for that, because he's proved 2 of my bits of footage are real.
Well, indeed. All right. Very good. That's funny how that works. Ironic. Okay, next we... Look at that.
Now
we've got picture number 3. We have a crater on the moon, and then we have a staggering enlargement of it. Just an amazing enlargement. Tell us about this picture.
Well, I love the moon. I really do. And I used to go around to Patrick Moore's, and he always used to shout at me because I used to go. That's a very lovely man, Sir Patrick Moore. He used to be an astronomer, a very well-known astronomer on Sky at Night in England, a programme. And he lived in Saudi. And I used to go around there, and I used to knock on the door, and I used to go through the first door. And I love cats too. I love them. I've got loads of cats. And he had one that he used to keep indoors. And once I went through the front door and then through the second door and forgot to close the door, the first door behind me. He used to call it an airlock. And he shouted at me so hard, "You've left the front door open. You're supposed to shut that before you come through to the second door." And once I took him some of these and we sat down privately, and he used to have this long white Grandad, long all-in-one sort of night shirt on, and he was sitting there, and I showed him some of these, and I kept it secret from all the other astronomers that used to go there. They never knew about me going there. They'll probably hit the roof now, but I did. And I did meet him, and he was very lovely to me. He showed me his telescopes, showed me his cat, and it was lovely. And I can prove it all, by the way, whoever's listening wants to cause trouble. Anyhow, this moon thing, this picture's wonderful. It's lovely. It's and I'm starting to get colour getting close, and I do get close to the moon.
That picture is, I see greens and blues, and I see almost colors there. Is there? Here's a question. Jose Escamilla did a lot of work with the moon, and he in one of his moon, I think he made one video about the moon. He claims to have color corrected the pictures to show the real colors on the moon, and the moon is full of colors. Is he right?
Yeah. Now, that's a very good point, and I must say, if he's listening, I wish him all the best of health. When we first met, I thought, he's a wonderful, lovely, kind, genuine person.
He is. I've known him for 25 years or more.
And the flipping pressure of all the cyberbullies split us up. And there's one thing I'd love to do before anything goes wrong with any of us, because he wasn't very well, is wish him all the best. And I'm so sorry that all those cyberbullies messed our relationship up, because if they hadn't, we could have progressed even further together.
Right.
You know, coming in with this bus thing, going around America or England, showing the world earlier. And it's took me the courage of people like you helping, and other people in the background that we can't see, that you know, Jeff, that are helping. They're very kind with your colleagues and other colleagues. If it wasn't for you and them and the encouragement from them, we wouldn't be where we are talking right now. And I wish we could have done it with Joe's, because Joe, he was so kind and wonderful. And then all those horrible people turned us against each other, and it shouldn't happen. And you know, we should be friends.
No, that's very well said. Jose is just an extraordinary man, and he probably is, yes. And I have been talking with him for years and years about many things, and I hope his health is doing well. He
worked really hard trying to do all these videos, and people don't realise that he has to do a GoFund to get the video made and help users coming in, and then it gets hacked off the internet, and he loses all his money, and they can't pay back the people that were, and it's not his fault, and it happens with everybody, and then there's just. You know.
He made that movie about the moon. I can't remember it, doggone it, the name of it.
Oh yeah, the colours. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is right.
And he shows colors. The moon has colors.
Yeah, if you download that software, that free software that I told you at the beginning of the show, you've got adjustments, and there was loads of people have been doing this. It's really clever. You can, especially on a full moon. You can up the contrast, the color contrast, and the color saturation, and it will bring out all greys, the browns. You can even on the Sony A7S or Sony A7 Mark II, you can put auto on, so you're not doing no trickery. You just put auto on, and it will take a color picture.
Well,
you know,
there you go.
It's true.
All right, now in this crater. John, I see a series of 5 or 6 white dots. Are those high up, and are they reflective? I see they appear to be on the sun side, past the shadow in the crater. So what do you think we're looking at there? Is it something unusual?
Well, it's allegedly mountain peaks, so I'm sure NASA can provide a much closer picture and prove that, which I challenge them to. I challenge NASA right live now. Show live pictures, real live pictures, live feed of that crater, and show us what it is, please. Thank you.
All right, very good. On the table. Okay, NASA. All right, next picture, number 5.
I love that. Oh, it's gorgeous.
This is really a provocative picture. Look at left. Look at the crater on the left, and look what's next to it. What do you see? What do you see? Do you see? Now I'm talking to the audience here. If you look carefully, you're going to see right angles. You're going to see rectangles. You're going to see linear things that just shouldn't be there. This is perfectly. Look at the top of that object. There's a perfect right angle. Looks like a bridge going across. Anyway, that looks artificial to me.
There's an actual video of that where I'm right zoomed out of the moon on my channel, and I zoom from almost full moon into there, and stay on it for a long time, and you can see the video. And I twist the camera like I told you, twist it while you're actually doing the video. And it's incredible. I love that area, and it's a lovely place to look. There's all sorts of things going on, you know.
Well, as I forget who was it, Neil Armstrong? One of them up there said, they're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, and they're watching us. That was in a backup channel, and we have that recording.
Wow.
So, all right, next one, the red one. It's a reddish tint with white lines in it. What are we looking at there?
Well, that's a zoom section of the moon. If you go to the next one below, you'll see a larger, obviously.
Yes. I see. Okay.
And then you go, I'm doing some pointers there. Obviously, what is this? It's definitely there. I've got it on video, by the way. It's on my channel. You can look through all the videos. You'll find it. Arts content. And yeah, what is it? I mean, I can't go up on the moon and put it there. It's obviously something there, So, I mean, could it just be distorted rocks, I suppose, or sort of something like, I don't know.
Well, if you look
rocks,
around it, there appear to be pathways through the lunar dust or whatever it is there as well.
Yeah. So it would be mountains. Let me correct myself, not rocks, mountains. Sorry, because that would be mountains in the middle of there, not rocks.
Okay. Now the next one where it says, "What's this?" and it's enlarged. We see the first one, which is the longer arrow than the enhancement, the enlargement. What is this? And what is the one on top? What are these things? They don't look like anything I've seen on the moon or in nature. Very odd.
Yeah.
All right, now number 9.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tell us about that one, John.
Well, that's my friend called George. No, I'm joking. No. Basically, I've got CCTV on my everywhere, all around my home and my relatives, and it's all installed and it's all backed up on hard drives all through the house on different dummy computers. We've got 24-hour surveillance permanently. So one day I'm looking off, what the flip is that? And this wide version, it's on video. It could have been a trick of light with the trees, I don't know, but it's off of a video, and you can see what appears to be a light sunbeam coming through the trees, and that, whatever that is, I'm not going to comment because I'm not going to get accused and cyberbullied, but
we'll just leave it. It looks like several things, and most obviously it looks like what it looks like. So all right, very good. Okay, next picture up, number 10. I remember this picture. Tell us, this is somebody in a car. Tell us who this guy is.
Do you see on the dashboard, there's a clipboard book. Big book. Yeah. Clipboard, where people go around thing. Can you see, then you come along, there's a corner of the white shirt and a black tie. Can you see that?
I do.
Yeah, and he's got, black suit on. And then unless he's put a mask on for a funny joke, right? That person, right, was a man walking around Sainsbury's in the UK, okay,